Hi guys, Tallara here and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. At the end of the last episode, we had a very unexpected encounter with Iron Bull. I was speechless at how quickly things escalated. I'm not saying it was a bad thing, I just couldn't believe how abrupt it was. So the last thing we did was we had Iron Bull leaving our room to a slightly shocked Liliana witnessing it in the corridor. And I think it's only polite if we go have a chat with him and maybe talk about what just happened. So let's go check in with Bull here.
Hey, you need me?
We need to talk.
I'd like to talk in private.
All right. What's going on, boss?
We need to talk about what happened between us.
Oh, that. Sure. What's on your mind?
Ooh, we got three options here. I'm gonna say I'm surprised how fun it was.
Nobody has ever done that to me before. I enjoyed it.
Of course you did. Ben Hasrath training, remember? Grew up learning to manipulate people. When it's a hostile target, you give them what they want. But when it's someone you care about, you give them what they need.
Wow. How does this work?
So if I agree, how does this work?
Outside this room, nothing changes. You're the Inquisitor. You're the boss. I will never hurt you without your permission. You will always be safe. If you're ever uncomfortable, if you ever want me to stop, you say Kato, and it's over. No questions asked.
Okay. You've thought this through.
It's a little unnerving that you have this down to a system.
Systems are comfortable. And my goal is for you to get very comfortable.
Wow. Okay. So this is where we either actually begin a relationship with Iron Bull or we break it off, and I'm definitely going to say I'm into this, Bull.
Take me.
Oh,
Gotta
wow.
go.
I didn't necessarily mean it like that, but okay, here we are respawning in the bedroom, so I'm not sure. From the sounds of things, it might just be friends with benefits with Bull right now. Perhaps that can evolve. I think we have feelings for each other, but obviously he also wants to keep our working relationship in mind, which I respect and understand. Regardless, that is now 2 nights with Bull, so things are getting spicy. The Kunari romance is in full swing here. And the other thing that I want to do today, now that we've checked in with Bull, which was priority number 1, there's a few of our companions that we have not checked in with yet. We need to check in with Vivian, Liliana, Dorian, and Blackwall are all people we haven't talked to yet. It seems like we're at the point in the game where we're starting to get specific companion quests. We've done a lot already, and I want to make sure we do them for everybody. So, next up is our favorite mage, Dorian.
Anything interesting?
A letter regarding Felix, Alexius's son. He went to the Magisterium, stood on the Senate floor and told them of you. A glowing testimonial, I'm informed. No news on the reaction, but everyone back home is talking. Felix always was as good as his word.
Was?
He's dead. The Blight caught up with him.
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss.
Are you alright?
He was ill, and thus on borrowed time anyhow.
That doesn't mean you can't regret his death.
I know. Felix used to sneak me treats from the kitchens when I was working late in his father's study. Don't get into trouble on my behalf, I tell him. I like trouble, he'd say. Tevinter could use more mages like him. Those who put the good of others above themselves.
Were you two involved? Because that's the kind of... I was actually just thinking about that as he was saying. I was like, were they more than friends? So I'm glad I have that dialogue option, because I want that tea.
Were the two of you...
Felix and I? What an odd question. No, I had no intention of abusing Alexius's hospitality by seducing his son. Not that I've been proper my whole life, by any means. It wasn't like that. Even in illness, Felix was the best of us. With him around, you knew things could be better.
Didn't mean to insult you by asking that. I was just genuinely curious for the gossip. I mean, he did seem, from the brief interaction with him, he did seem like a good kid. Much better than his father. I'm gonna say, follow his example.
He should be an example for others to follow, or his death is wasted.
Should I spread the word? We could spawn the cult of Felix within a matter of days.
The cult of
There
Felix.
are worse things.
Probably true. And you're right. His actions should not be forgotten. Thankfully, Felix wasn't the only decent sort kicking around Thedas.
Aw. Right back at you, Dorian. I like Dorian a lot. I feel like Dorian is like my best friend. Well, there's also Varric, who's very best friend material. You know what I mean? He's definitely in the upper echelon of companions for me. I like Dorian a lot. I think he's witty and funny, but also has a good head on his shoulders. Good morals. We just get along.
So, Alexius is dead. All the good he once stood for, his integrity, his beliefs. He betrayed them all. I won't say he didn't deserve death. I just wish there'd been another way.
Right, I forgot we hadn't talked to Dorian since we executed him and made that decision. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about Alexius?
You said Alexius was a mentor of yours.
He was my patron, sponsoring me to the higher levels of the Circle of Magi. In return, my successes were his. I had a lot of successes, naturally. Alexius was most pleased. He and I used to talk over brandy about the corruption, how we could one day make real change in the Imperium. And then he gave up. He stopped trying.
Why?
Why did he give up?
On a journey to Hossberg, a Darkspawn raid killed his wife and sickened his son. I remember hearing the news. He hadn't been there, you see. Alexius was convinced he could have protected them. The guilt tore him up. I helped him with his research for a while, and then we drifted apart.
I'm sorry.
That must have been difficult.
Back then, I was furious. I told him to snap out of it, move on. I thought I had all the answers. Later, I regretted my hasty words. But we didn't speak again until he approached me for the Venatori. Too much pride, I suppose. Plus, I was busy drinking. One must have priorities.
I mean, I think did you miss him?
Was it hard being away from him?
It was hard not having a patron, yes. I'm not exactly built to fit in. At any rate, he's dead now. More's the pity.
Okay.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
It was a bit of a sad conversation with Dorian. I feel bad, obviously, watching Alexius turn from someone he respected to someone he despised is hard, and then his one friend in Felix is dead, and it's been tough for Dorian, but hopefully he can have a fresh start here now with us. Let's chat with Vivian next.
Whatever is the matter this time, dear?
I mean, nothing. I just wanted to say hi. Okay, bye. Vivian never has anything to say to me. I don't know, when we very first met, I thought there was a chance that we might really get along, but that just has not been the case, unfortunately. So, I won't give up on our friendship yet, but it's not looking great.
Inquisitor,
Oh!
if you've a moment.
Look who's here, my gal, Mother Giselle.
My lady Inquisitor, it's good of you to speak with me. I have news regarding one of your companions, the Tevinter.
Dorian? Bad news?
Nothing good, I expect.
If you have reservations about his presence here, I share them. But this is another matter. I have been in contact with his family. House Pavas out of Carenas. Are you familiar with them?
We've never met.
Familiar. We've never met, if that's what you're suggesting.
I'm suggesting nothing. I'm only curious whether you know of his situation. The family sent a letter describing the estrangement from their son and pleading for my aid. They've asked to arrange a meeting quietly without telling him. They fear it's the only way he'll come. Since you seem to be on good terms with the young man, I'd hoped
Okay, I have questions. What kind of meeting?
Just what kind of meeting do they have in mind?
I believe they just want to talk, to understand why Dorian felt he had to come here. Somewhat private, away from Skyhold, but not in Tevinter. You make them nervous, I think. They don't understand why he's here with the Inquisition. They want him to come home.
And if he doesn't agree?
What happens if Dorian doesn't agree?
Hopefully that will be the end of it. If not, well, that's why you should be there.
So why would they contact you, though?
Why would his family contact you?
Because they don't know you, Inquisitor. I am not of the Imperial Chantry, but they know what I represent. These are parents concerned about the welfare of their son. How could I not do whatever possible? I would speak to the young man myself, but he does not care for me. Thus I come to you. If any good can come of this, we must try.
Is this legitimate, though?
Are you sure this isn't some kind of trap? I mean, the secrecy.
That did occur to me. What if it is a plot of those mages, the Venatori? Another reason to put this in your hands, Inquisitor. I pray that isn't the case. But if it is, you are far better equipped than I to respond to such treachery.
So they don't want to tell him.
They don't want Dorian to know? That seems odd.
They believe the young man would refuse, and the letter implies he'd have cause. Yet, they are remorseful for whatever came before. This is a chance for dialogue. There is deceit in bringing the young man to this meeting without his foreknowledge, I know. But does it not lead to a greater kindness if there is potential for reconciliation?
So I don't disagree. I mean, the parents are probably confused and worried. He's gone to a different country, completely abandoned them. They want answers. Clearly something happened between them that pushed Dorian away from his family and he doesn't want to talk to them. But if they're willing to send out an olive branch and make amends, then I think that's for the better. However, Dorian should not be tricked to have this meeting with his parents if he truly doesn't want to. So I'm going to say I'm not going to trick Dorian.
If you think I'm going to trick Dorian into meeting his family...
I feared you might say that. The family will send a retainer to meet the young man at the Red Cliff Tavern, to take him onward. If he truly does not wish this reunion, he can always end the matter there. I pray you change your mind, Inquisitor. Perhaps their letter will persuade you. If there is any chance of success in this, it behooves us to act.
Okay, well here's the letter. Official-looking letter. Your Reverence, I understand that you feel inadequate to the task of bringing Dorian to a secret meeting. Even in the asking, I find it difficult to believe myself. Considering my son has rebuffed all contact, this is the only way. I know him. He would be too proud to come if he knew, even just to talk. That is all we wish to do. The thought of Dorian in the south, placing himself in the path of such danger, alarms us more than I can express. If this somehow succeeds, we have a family retainer at the Vandrel Hills watching for Dorian's arrival. He will bring the boy to us somewhere private. If Dorian utterly refuses to go with him, it ends there, and there's nothing we can do. We are at our wits' end. Graciously yours, Magister Hallward of House Pavis. So I am going to go speak to Dorian about it. Maybe if he sees the letter and hears my words. I think he should try it. If it all goes south, it goes south. He doesn't have to try it again. We'll go with him to make sure there's no trickery. I think it's worth a shot, but I think he deserves to know before we just ambush him with his family. So let's chat with Dorian.
So, I assume you're Talvershoth or something like.
Why would you assume that?
If you weren't, you would have split my skull open at our first meeting before I said a word. Centuries of warfare with the Kunari do lead to this state of affairs.
You've met other Kunari?
You've encountered Kunari before.
Kunari raids are rather old hat for anyone from the Eastern Imperium, although the attacks aren't quite the rampaging wars of ages past. Now we're like two angry dowagers who only remember to spit at each other when they pass on the street.
What about in person?
Did you meet any Kunari personally?
None who weren't rushing towards me with a sword. I was too busy running in the other direction to say hello. I've met some Talvershoth in my time, however. Mercenaries and a few merchants. They're not the same as Kunari. Might easily be a different people altogether.
Glad someone knows that.
If only other people knew that.
It's a southerner thing. Most of them don't even know what a canary looks like. Forgive their ignorance, O mighty one. They shall learn proper fear in time.
Look, I'm no issue if you don't. No, I'll say Tevinters aren't exactly popular.
Lots of people want to kill Tevinters. Not just Kunari.
True. Generating goodwill hasn't exactly been a Tevinter strength through the ages. A similarity of my people to yours, in fact. Hmm?
You'd think it would bring us closer together.
Instead, we're like two cats in a sack.
Well, that was some fun dialogue there between me as a Kunari and Dorian as a Tevinter. Now, let's say your father sent a letter.
Dorian, there's a letter you need to see.
A letter? Is it a naughty letter? A humorous proposal from some Antivan dowager?
Not quite. It's from your father.
From my father? I see. And what does Magister Hallwood want, pray tell?
A meeting.
Show me this letter. I know my son? What my father knows of me would barely fill a thimble. This is so typical. I'm willing to bet this retainer is a henchman, hired to knock me on the head and drag me back to Tevinter.
I mean, I won't let him.
That would be hard to do while I stood there.
He expects me to travel with Mother Giselle, although Maker knows why he'd think I would. Let's go. Let's meet this so-called family retainer. If it's a trap, we escape and kill everyone. You're good at that. If it's not, I send the man back to my father with a message that he can stick his alarm in his wit's end.
What's the issue between you two?
There seems to be bad blood between you and your family.
Interesting turn of phrase. But you're correct. They don't care for my choices, nor I for theirs.
Because you wouldn't get married? Because you left?
That too.
I mean, I think you should at least try to talk to him.
I think you should meet with this retainer. Find out what your family wants.
I didn't ask what you thought, did I? That was unworthy. I apologize.
Thank you.
There'd be no harm in hearing what this man of my father's has to say. If I don't like it, however, I want to leave.
See, I like Dorian so much. Even when he's agitated and fed up, he took a second and was like, nope, that was too far. I apologize. And I'll just say, yeah, fair enough.
That works for me.
I wonder how much my father paid this man to wait around just in case I showed. We'll find out soon enough.
So until that conversation, I completely forgot that Dorian is essentially royalty, and his family wanted him to marry and, you know, be a classic prince, and he said nuh-uh and set off on his own to make his own name for himself and not partake in an arranged marriage. I completely forgot about that whole angle, so that's one reason why he doesn't like his family for sure. But either way, let's go bring Dorian to the Gull and the Lantern Tavern and see what this guy has to say. Alright, so here we are in Redcliffe Village. For this outing, I decided to bring Dorian, obviously. I also brought Cole because I thought maybe his aptitude for feeling people's emotions might come in handy. And then I also brought Cassandra because she can be a voice of reason and an authoritative figure if she needed to. So that's the thought process behind the party we have selected. Maybe it won't even matter, but anyway. Here we are. Redcliffe Village is a-bustlin'. Looking much better now that the Venatori are out of here. And we'll head this way over to the tavern.
Good day. The Inquisitor ended the war between the Mages and Templars.
Uh-oh. Nobody's here. This doesn't bode well.
Dorian.
Father.
Oh, father is here.
So the whole story about the family retainer was just, what? A smokescreen?
Then you were told. I apologize for the deception, Inquisitor. I never intended for you to be involved.
Of course not. Magister Parvis couldn't come to Skyhold and be seen with the dread Inquisitor. What would people think? What is this exactly, Father? Ambush? Kidnapping? Warm family reunion?
This is how it has always been.
Just talk to him, Dorian.
You went through all of this to get Dorian here. Talk to him.
Yes, Father. Talk to me. Let me hear how mystified you are by my anger.
Dorian, there's no need to.
I prefer the company of men. My father disapproves.
Oh, what? I hate that. Homophobic dad is a no-no. Why is it an issue?
That's a big concern in Tevinter, then?
Only if you're trying to live up to an impossible standard. Every Tevinter family is intermarrying to distill the perfect mage, perfect body, perfect mind, the perfect leader. It means every perceived flaw, every aberration is deviant and shameful. It must be hidden.
I mean, I don't even want to say give your father a chance, because homophobia is awful, and Dorian shouldn't have to put up with people wanting him to change or hide who he is. At the same time, his dad hasn't said anything. He's just stood there quietly, and he went through all this effort to come here. I just want to say, give your father a chance just now. If he says something stupid, we'll leave, but give him one chance. Let's see, maybe he's had a change of heart.
Your father might be here to reach out. You could give him a chance.
Let's just go.
Dorian, please. If you'll only listen to me.
Why? So you can spout more convenient lies? He taught me to hate blood magic. The resort of the weak mind. Those are his words. But what was the first thing you did when your precious heir refused to play pretend for the rest of his life? You tried to change me.
I only wanted what was best for you.
You wanted the best for you. Your fucking legacy. Anything for that.
I feel so bad for Dorian. He clearly has a lot of pain in his heart. It's curious that his dad isn't even really saying anything, though. He's just standing there and taking it, so it makes me think maybe he has had a change of heart. I'm gonna say one more time, don't leave it like this.
Don't leave it like this, Dorian. You'll never forgive yourself.
Tell me why you came.
There we go.
If I knew, I would drive you to the Inquisition.
You didn't. I joined the Inquisition because it's the right thing to do. Once, I had a father who would have known that.
Once, I had a son who trusted me. A trust I betray.
Okay, here we
I
go.
only wanted to talk to him, to hear his voice again.
Here we go, this
to
is
ask
good.
him to forgive me.
Looks like we decided to give them their space. It's good, it wasn't a trap or a trick. It genuinely seems like his father might have had a change of heart. He's at least apologetic, so I'm happy they got a chance to talk. Hopefully Dorian will fill us in here now. What happened?
He says we're alike. Too much pride. Once I would have been overjoyed to hear him say that. Now I'm not certain. I don't know if I can forgive him.
Are you alright?
Are you all right?
No, not really. Thank you for bringing me out there. It wasn't what I expected, but it's something. Maker knows what you must think of me now, after that whole display.
You're brave.
I think you're very brave.
Brave?
It's not easy to abandon tradition and walk your own path.
At any rate, time to drink myself into a stupor. It's been that sort of day. Join me sometime, if you've a mind.
Oh, I just want to give him a giant bear hug.
I'm being clucked at by a hen, evidently.
Oh.
Don't play the fool with me, young man.
If I wanted to play the fool, I could be rather more convincing, I assure you.
Your glib tongue does you no credit.
You'd be surprised at the credit my tongue gets me, Your Reverence.
Wow, okay. I was just saying how I wanted to give Dorian a bear hug, and now him and Giselle are shouting. What's going on here?
Oh, Oh, I...
What's going on here?
It seems the revered mother is concerned about my undue influence over you.
What?
It is just concern. Your worship, you must know how this looks.
You might need to spell it out, my dear.
This man is of Tevinter. His presence at your side, the rumors alone.
Because he's Tevinter?
What's wrong with him being from Tevinter, specifically?
I'm fully aware that not everyone from the Imperium is the same.
How kind of you to notice. Yet still you bow to the opinion of the masses.
The opinion of the masses is based on centuries of evidence. What would you have me tell them?
The truth?
The truth is I do not know you, and neither do they. Thus, these rumors will continue.
I really don't like this side of Mother Giselle. I've always agreed with Mother Giselle. She's been level-headed and rational, and then for some reason, she does not like Dorian. And I get it. A lot of people from Tevinter are terrible. I mean, basically our main enemy is from Tevinter. But Dorian has proven himself. He's a good person. There's no need to worry.
There's no cause for concern, Your Reverence.
With all due respect, you underestimate the effect this man has on the people's good opinion.
Do the people know how he's helped the Inquisition?
See, I meant no disrespect, Inquisitor. Only to ask after this man's intentions. If you feel he is without ulterior motive, then I humbly beg forgiveness of you both.
Okay, at least she knew when to admit that she was wrong or that she overstepped.
Well, that's something.
Forget her.
Don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
She does, actually. There are rumors, and her concern is well-meaning, if misplaced.
It doesn't matter.
Listen to you. It's good to be the Inquisitor. I should ask, do the rumors bother you?
There will always be rumors. I mean, I'm a Kunari. I'm sure there's lots of rumors about what my intentions are.
Why should it bother me? Everyone's talking about the Inquisition.
That's good. I'd hate to think I brought you any grief. Perhaps it's odd to say, but I think of you as a friend, Inquisitor. I have precious few friends. I didn't think to find one here. Don't speak. I detest confessions, and I'd like to get this over with. Allow me to say I'll stand beside you, against Corypheus, my countryman, or spurious rumor, so long as you'll have me.
Dorian, you sweetie pie. Now I just want to give you another big hug. Ugh, I love him. What a good person. I'm so glad I can be his friend, and hopefully he can get past the rumors and the Mother Giselles and the dads and all the bad people in his life and just focus on him, because he's a good person. Wow, that made my heart really warm. And now we're gonna run upstairs and check in with Liliana.
What we learned at Adamant concerns me. The hero Ferelden and I have been together for years. I nearly lost him to the Archdemon. He's looking for a way to stop the calling from taking him, as it does every Grey Warden. But if Corypheus has power over the Wardens, my love could be in danger.
Ah, I really like how she's finally referencing the relationship between her and the hero of Ferelden. It seems they are officially still together, although they obviously both lead their own very busy lives. Let's ask some questions. Where is he now?
If you two are still together, why isn't he here?
His quest took him far to the west, to lands that have never known the Blight. But Justinia needed me here. I owed her that much. My love and I are never truly apart. When this is all over, I will join him again. And this time, nothing will come between us.
Oh, guys, why is this episode making my heart so warm? What leads does he have?
What makes him think he can stop the calling?
It has been done before. Grand Enchanter Fiona was once a warden, but something took all trace of the calling from her. A warden mage named Avernus also found a way to prolong his life with magic. It wasn't much, but enough to start the hunt. He will find a way. I have faith in him.
Were you two happy?
Were the two of you happy together in the years after the Blight?
Happier than you could imagine. The only shadow over our love was knowing that one day I would lose him to the calling. His quest is for me as much as for him. He knows how much I've lost.
Oh my god. Why is this the perfect love story? So what do you suggest?
What would you like to do?
I do not know where the hero Ferelden is precisely, but I know how to get a message to him. He may have information that helps the Inquisition. At worst, it will do no harm. I will draw up a plan in the war room. Thank you.
Of course. We can absolutely get a message to the hero of Ferelden.
I'll leave you to your work.
Alright. So, the Contact Hero of Ferelden operation is now available. Perfect. Alright, so we have one more person that I want to check in with before we get started in the war room, and that is Blackwall. So let's head and find him.
I've been meaning to thank you. There are 100 things that need your attention. You didn't have to take the time to help me, and yet you did.
It was a good cause.
If the history you pursue benefits the Wardens, then it was worth it.
You've proven yourself to be an honorable woman. Principled. I've great admiration for you, and I've never been more certain in my decision to join you.
We will do better.
There will be opportunities for us to do even more in the future.
Then I look forward to it.
Awesome. What are your thoughts on the Inquisition right now?
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I just know that you could shake this world to its foundations if you willed it.
Oh, alright. Well, that's enough talk.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Alright, so it's just a quick catch up with Blackwall. We're really getting along with everyone. We're really making good friends with all of our allies. Probably with the exception of Vivienne, if I had to choose one that we're not particularly friendly with. I still don't know much about Vivienne, to be honest. But if our next quest is going to take us to the capital to speak with Empress Celine and deal with the court of Orlais, I think we're going to bring Vivienne with us, because that makes the most sense. She has connections, she has experience, it would just be natural to bring her with us on that mission, so. Anywho, let's head to the war room now and figure out our next move. Alright, let's check in on the quests that everyone was doing. It's on the Orlais side. Alliances, getting things moving. I will not turn my back on them, but we have established agreements with the Thibodeaux. Their initial hatred of the Inquisition was a device, and they are willing to have us in their favor, says Josephine. Inquisitor, the Grey Wardens scoured the area as requested. Unfortunately, this left them unprepared when mercenaries working for Marquis Ephaloche Buffon attacked by surprise. It appears that Marquis Buffon has been mining the area in violation of local treaties, which accidentally freed the Darkspawn from beneath the earth. Marquis Buffon has fled into the Gomordan Peaks. The Grey Wardens have taken losses, but their morale remains high and their loyalty to the Inquisition is indisputed. Yours, Lieutenant Suzanne Clochesec. Well, that's unfortunate, but at least we figured out the source of the Darkspawn, and now we can actually pursue Marquis Buffon. Inquisitor, with her treachery revealed Marquis Ephaloche Buffon has fled into the mountains. Our initial efforts to pursue her have been hampered by both the terrain and the presence of demons in the area. While we have had difficulty making headway, the Grey Wardens have offered to assist. They seem to be the only force in the area capable of doing so. Regardless, I believe it is worth pursuing Marquis Buffon if we have the means to do so.
If my agents find anything, you will be the first to know.
And as Colin suggests, the Grey Wardens will do better against demons than normal Inquisition soldiers. Let them fight through the mountains. Do that. We can continue with this Alliances quest. Lady Thibodeau is asking for closer ties and access to trading partners as she tries to circumvent the traditional blockages of the allegiances in the capital. Some houses have switched sides, others ceded holdings entirely to avoid the shame of officially losing all standing. More and more, they are concerned with station and alliance over whatever objections they stated about the Inquisition. We'll send Josephine up. For this, we gained her trust with alliances. If we are willing to continue the relationship, it is only fitting that we strengthen those ties.
At your service.
I believe in Josephine, and if she thinks it's a good idea to make an alliance, I will leave her to do that. Finally, we have a report from Liliana, the Serpent of Navarra. The agent known as Argent infiltrated the Navarran royal palace and killed Varelius, eliminating several others who she reports were clearly co-conspirators. King Marcus is reported to have wakened as if from a dream. The Inquisition is not connected to any of this, and the king is enraged to have been magically influenced in such a manner. He will definitely be more wary of Venatori emissaries in the future. Urgent brought back several interesting items that were in Varelius's possession. Well, glad we could help the monarchy of Navarra. And now the last one I want to do is I want to send the letter to the hero of Ferelden. Which I don't know where that quest is, so give me a minute while I look all around here. Here we go. Contact hero of Ferelden. Sister Liliana, per the information sent, we are prepared to deliver a message to the hero of Ferelden. It will not be easy, but we will ensure the message reaches him. From Sister Region. At your command, I will attempt to make contact. Go ahead, Liliana.
Let's see what we have.
Wow, that has a long timer on it. 16 hours. So we're not going to hear back from that for a while. In the meantime, I guess it's time for us to set out on our next main quest. We do have other things we could be doing, but I think we shouldn't probably stall any longer, lest the Empress get assassinated and we'll get blamed for it. So I think it is time for us to start Wicked Eyes and Wicked Hearts. I am aware, however, that this episode is running a little bit long, so rather than start this today, we will call it a day there, and when I see you guys back here next time, we will start our next main quest in Dragon Age Inquisition and try to save Empress Celine. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Until next time.